In a major development, India announced that an agreement or an understanding has been reached with China, according to which border patrolling along the line of actual control to their own respective perceived positions, as it used to happen before 2020 Galwan clash, would be allowed to happen again. Now, this is a major development. This was announced by Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri while addressing press on Prime Minister's upcoming visit to BRICS summit in Russia.
Over the last several weeks, Indian and Chinese diplomatic and military negotiators have been in close contact with each other in a variety of forums. And as a result of these discussions, agreement has been arrived at on patrolling arrangements along the line of actual control in the India-China border areas, leading to disengagement and a resolution of the issues that had arisen in these areas in 2020. And we will be taking the next steps on this.
And what this means is that the chill that had set in India-China ties post the Galwan clash of 2020 seems to be thawing. And it's a major development because if you look at it, there were almost 3 division plus strength of troops amassed along the LAC, looking eyeball to eyeball, face to face, and in that kind of hair trigger situation that any time situation could have gone out of control. Now what this means is that after this signaling coming in from the top and the bureaucracies reaching this agreement, ultimately it might lead to a full disengagement, not just disengagement because that's almost happened, but taking the troops back, pull back from those forward positions to their respective earlier positions. This might take a while, but this is an important trigger for moving in that direction. Now, so far as the timing is concerned, that itself is very important, significant. It comes on the eve of Prime Minister traveling to Russia to participate in the BRICS Leaders Summit that's taking place for the next 2 days. Prime Minister traveling tomorrow, and it's possible that Prime Minister might meet President Xi Jinping on the sidelines. The last time they met was in 2022. It was a brief pull-aside kind of meeting, and in fact post-2020 when the clash happened and the chill came in India-China ties, the two leaders effectively have not met. This has also meant India's diplomacy getting shaped by our position on China. In fact, if you look at it geopolitically, it's the first time perhaps in recent history that any nation has stood up to China and its bullying and belligerence in the manner that we did, taking in all those troops and deployments and our arms and ammunition, etc. 50,000 plus troops along the line of actual control to deter China. Now, insofar as the border situation is concerned, it has largely been peaceful after India made those counter moves and mirror deployments. But then that has been or was at a substantial cost. And I spoke to some of those involved in India's military posturing and deployments there, and they said that it's anything between rupees 50 crores to 100 crores per day depending on the season. So in winters, the deployment specific to LAC might cost upwards of 100 crore rupees per day, and in summer months when the expenses, the logistical requirements are lesser, it could be still 50 crore rupees. So it was an economic drain, but then perhaps that was the Chinese intention. Now with this understanding being reached, hopefully those aspects would be taken care of. We don't know, as I said, by when complete pullback of troops would happen, but then ball has been set in motion in that direction. I was mentioning about timing. One is, of course, the BRICS summit and the possibility of Prime Minister Modi meeting President Xi Jinping. The other is equally important that China has been facing headwinds on its economic front. The last quarter GDP was at 4.6%, and that's been the least in the last 5 or 6 quarters, which means despite all the stimulus packages that the Chinese Communist Party state has been trying to inject, the Chinese economy is not really coming out as fast of the sputtering state it has been in for a while. Some would say that at $18 trillion of GDP, even 4.6% is a good number, but still, by the Chinese rate of growth, it's less, and it has consequences for China, and that's why perhaps on the back of their mind, the Chinese would have thought that let's buy peace with India, because we have, with our resolve, told them in no uncertain terms that India is not going to pull back and we are going to look eye for eye. And so with this disengagement finally happening, which has been endorsed by External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, the comment made by Foreign Secretary endorsed by External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, things finally moving in the direction of perhaps a complete normalization of relationship between the two nations.